And of course, those who are joining us right now for the very first time, the show is called One on One. My name is Eugene Anangwe. My guest in the program is none other than Kalibata. He is the Director General of the Rwanda Directorate of Immigration and Emigration. The hashtag we're using if you want to ask any question or contribute to the program is hashtag 101RW. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, Eugene.
Yes, it's quite an honor to have you in the program. We've had people who probably have had a few questions here and there concerning the working environment and, of course, the policies at the Rwanda Directorate of Immigration and Emigration. Quickly, let's talk about the work ethic that we see when we come at the offices in Kachiru, and also for those who interact with your team on social media platforms like Twitter. Most of the time you see a lot of thumbs up, a lot of people saying they're satisfied with some of the work that is going on over there. What's the secret? Let's start from there.
Thank you very much. Maybe the first thing I would say, there are no secrets. Mm-hmm. The secret is an open secret, mm-hmm. and as you say, the work ethics, we are just trying to do the best we can to be able to serve the public. Mm-hmm. And actually, we take advantage of using IT-based solution to be able to reach out to people and be able to offer a service, I think, to be able to satisfy our customers. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so how easy or how hard has this been? Because you're not doing it yourself. You have people who you have hired who need to live this dream or this ambition that you have.
Actually, it is not, would say it is easy, not easy. Mm-hmm. It is a process. Mm-hmm. You build a process until you reach a certain stage. And I would wish to say that even up to today, we are not satisfied with what we are doing.
What you have is not enough.
I think it's not enough. It depends on the customers. Mm-hmm. Customers, people we serve, who would be able to judge us whether what we have is good enough for them. Mm-hmm. And it continues improving. So actually, that's what we think. And we struggle to be able to reach that, and also contact our customers to be able to judge us on what we are doing, because we are a responsible institution, respond to the public, and we would wish our customer to be able to challenge us and tell us what's not going well, what's going well, to be able to motivate us. Actually, that is, I think, what would say as the policy on what we are doing.
Mm. Yeah. And I'm sure, most of the time when you acquire a certain position, especially when it's the best position, when it comes to rankings, there's always that pressure of maintaining that position and keeping that same level. How has this been for you? Because your institution has won several awards like the Inego Award, and most of the time, this customer satisfaction also, I'm sure, gives pressure to your team to maintain it or even make it better, as you say, that this is not even enough.
Actually, I'm not sure whether we are the best. As you said, it is not up to me to say we are the best, but I appreciate what you are saying and what the customer says. But as you said, actually, when you strive to be able to do the best thing, it is a process. You need to continue to listen to your customer, to get the challenges, and offer solutions on what they are doing. So that would be like, eventually, not to lose on what you are doing, not to forget where you came from, so that you can be able to continue to do, struggle to do a better job. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, as a DG, you're the man on top of the institution as we speak, in terms of giving guidance, giving leadership, and of course coming up with solutions when there is a crisis or a problem at the institution. Maybe if you can take us through your day in terms of what you go through from the time you decide, okay, now it's time to rise up. I have to serve the interest of the country. I have to serve the interest of my institution, and I also have to serve my own interest as a person. How does your day look like?
Actually, my day is not quite difficult. I wake up early in the morning, go to the office.
What's the earliest you rise?
I try to be at the office by 7.
Okay.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Depends on how you handle the issues. Mm-hmm. But actually, to be as early as possible, so that you can give also as a guidance to your colleagues. But in the process, you do the documentation, because immigration actually involves a lot of documentation. Mm-hmm. But also, don't forget that go around to discuss with your colleagues where they have challenges, to have an open office. Where you'll be able to see the challenges, and sometimes also going to the front desks to be able to see what's happening.
You do this yourself?
Yes, sometimes you need to do it to understand what's happening, to understand if there are challenges, and actually it helps. It empowers the people you're working with, also empower the people you are serving.
Because we have some CEOs who believe their place is in the office and the boardroom when they have to give lectures to their employees rather.
I think there is nothing you say this is the best way to do things. I think it depends on how you manage your institution actually and see if things are improving. Some people would stay in the office and do a better job than you are doing. So actually, I will not say this is the best way to do things. Yes.
Now we have set several announcements that have been made so far in terms of immigration and immigration guidance or guidelines for foreigners living in the country, and we understand that now the paper-based green card will no longer be issued or used, and so now foreigners living in the country, what's the next step that they need to do?
Actually, the next step, as you said correctly, we are phasing out the paper-based simply because actually they're paper-based. They are cumbersome.
Yes.
And some of the banks, we are not respecting them. So a foreigner or a resident will offshore them and they are not respected by the banks. You could see they are kind of a liability to the residents who are living in Rwanda. So that's why the government agreed to remove them and start electronic IDs as Rwandans. So as we said, the announcements, we stopped issuing the paper-based. We have been issuing them, both of them, the paper-based and the electronic one, since last year.
Okay.
But we came to a place where we say, okay, I think it's the last time we should stop using the paper-based, and the requirements are almost the same as the paper-based. We need a person to have a residence permit or work permit in Rwanda. They need to come and take photos and biometrics fingerprints as the ID for Rwandans, and pay about 5,000 Rwandan francs. Yes.
This money is to contribute. Is the same money they used to give even when they were taking the paper-based, right?
Yes, the same.
All right. So what can they do with this ID? Is this one of those IDs that we were being told in the East African community that will facilitate people to travel within the region? What can they do with this ID?
Actually, the ID will be beneficial, as I was saying, because you don't have to go around with your passport. The passport is not an ID. It's something to be used when you're traveling, and some people they lose them. But this ID, the electronic ID, can be used to use the banks. It shows the duration of stay in Rwanda. You can even use the electronic gates at the airport. When you are coming, when you are a resident, you can be able to use the EID without queuing, like Rwandans. You can also, they are used also because they have a unique number to get the driving permits in Rwanda, which I think it is quite important also for people who live in Rwanda. And for whether they're going to use their travel documents in East Africa, it's a possibility. This is something we should also discuss with the colleagues from Kenya and Uganda, whether they have a similar arrangement. And I think if they have, then I don't think any problem can be used to use within the three countries.
There are several questions that follow up on that, because we have people probably who just arrived in Rwanda a few days ago, and they maybe applied for the paper-based green card. Maybe just to clarify properly, when did the issuance of the paper-based green cards end? Because probably someone has it and it's still valid for a certain period. Do they need to come now to reapply again for the ID?
They don't need to come as long as you have.
They do or they don't?
They don't.
They don't. Okay.
As long as you have a valid one, you can stay it for about a year. But in the process, because the electronic ID is more beneficial, it's up to you. You can decide to do away with the valid one. But if you don't want, you can stay with the valid one until 1 year, then we phase them out. Yes.
Let's talk of the citizenship issue. There is application to be a citizen. There is also application for visas for residents and all that kind of thing, including the work permits. There's an interesting question that most people always ask, including me. Sometimes I ask myself, what do I need to do to become a Rwandan citizen, to be called Eugene Anangwe Mugisha, for example? I asked someone jokingly, and I was told, are you married to a Rwandese? How long have you been here? So is it a must, or what are some of the things that are needed for those people who feel now I want to be a formal citizen of this beautiful country, Rwanda?
First of all, you don't have to change your name. You don't have to be called Mugisha. You can be Anangwe and be a Rwandan. Okay. Because Rwanda accepts dual nationality, so you can be the name, whatever you want to do. To be called, you can be a Rwandan and maintain your identity. Also be a Rwandan. On the first question, there are categories of nationality. You can get Rwandan nationality by getting married to a Rwandan. After 3 years, you are eligible to acquire Rwandan nationality. You can get nationality by naturalization, which is
born here.
No, naturalization, that means you can stay 5 years in Rwanda without getting married to a Rwandan. Maybe you have some activities
that you do here.
Yes, you do here, which are more sustainable, and apply for citizenship. You can get citizenship also by being born in Rwanda. That one also is something you can get a Rwandan nationality. So those are the categories actually where you can get.
So those people falling in these categories can be able to become citizens.
Yes.
Now, talking of citizenship, we had a story that emerged recently of a footballer, Dadi Birori, who had a Rwandan nationality but having different names with and also a Congolese citizenship. What really happened? Is there any information that you know from the immigration in terms of this person's citizenship and how he even got this ID?
Actually, I knew you were going to ask me this question. So
you saw it coming, eh?
So I knew.
Yes.
There are two things. There are name changing, which is in that case, that Dadi Birori was called in Rwanda. As I said earlier, Rwanda accepted dual nationality. He came to Rwanda and assumed the Rwanda name. He became Dadi Birori. And in the process, through, I think, the Minister of Sports, he got, because he was playing for Rwanda, as in other countries, he was eligible for that. So other details now of how he changed name back to the other names, I think this is not part of immigration. That is something else. Yes,
So immigration is vindicated, is not involved in any of that.
The issue of changing names or anything, no. What we know, he came to Rwanda. He was playing for the Rwanda national team as other countries. He got that right. He got citizenship because he was playing for Rwanda. Now, other issues of changing names and what, I think that's something
There
else.
was no twisting by anybody from any footballing association saying we need you to support and help this guy because we need him in our team? He followed proper procedures.
I think this issue is not in Rwanda. Some people come and play for national teams, and it is all over the world. I mean, even recently we saw a Brazilian who changed to be I think to be in the Spanish team. So it happens. It happens all over the world. The other issues, what I think I'm not willing to discuss, is the other areas where someone tends to change other names, whether it is legal or not legal. I think that's something else. That's
something for another discussion.
Yes.
Now let's talk of the challenges. You know, it's also not natural for you to be able to make certain achievements and to look like everything is fine without facing certain challenges at the end of the day. I've never met anybody who in their life they have never had any challenges at any point. So what are some of those areas you feel your institution is facing and things that need to be sorted out to make even your work better?
I mean, there are so many challenges in working. So there are areas where you need to satisfy your customers, I said earlier. And in question of satisfying customers, it is you providing the services and the one you provide the services. You need to, at one time to agree whether you can be able to improve what you are doing. So that is where I think it is a challenge. There is a challenge of attitude. The attitude should be also on both ways.
From the customers and also your employees.
But I would be able to speak on for the employees, the attitude of trying to satisfy a customer. Being a public institution, sometimes you take things for granted. And you need also to agree with your colleagues that really what you want is, it's not a monopoly. It is that people need these services. And if they need services, I think you have a responsibility to serve them. So that is an attitude you need to change. And I mean, there's some other challenges, as you raised, the issues where there are some people who come and come with criminal intentions, because immigration deals with both ways. You satisfy customers, but also you have a security element. So it's quite important that you balance the two. If you say, I'm going to give everybody who comes my service, you need to see whether this person also has good intention to be able to come to Rwanda and stay in Rwanda. So those I would say as the major challenges. Yeah.
We have also the issue that I was also looking at. That is the issue of the fines for those who normally fail to follow the immigration and emigration procedures. For instance, if you don't have a permit or something, there are certain fines that are levied against you. Since I don't want to ask a blanket statement, I would like to ask you specifically now, in your case, in your institution, where does this money go to?
It goes to the public treasury.
How?
I mean, we don't collect money. When we give fines, the money is collected by Revenue Authority. In the Immigration Authority in Rwanda, the department does not collect money. So whichever fine, whatever we get as a fine or as a fee, whether it's a fine, whether it's a fee for the visas and passports, it goes to the government treasury.
So it doesn't come back to the immigration to either bonuses for
No,
salaries?
not.
Okay. Now, from your experience and your institutions running, for the period that it has been there, what has been that case of either an individual or a group of people that maybe proved to be the most challenging to sort out for you?
That's a difficult one. But I know the challenges, I think, is to be able, I would imagine, where people assume nationality, assume to be Rwandans, and because you have been in this region for a long time, someone would be having, even relatives in Rwanda, but want to assume to be a Rwandan. And they want you to think that they're Rwandans. But you say legally that you, my friend, you're not a Rwandan. So sometimes you collide with them. Sometimes they have sentiments, especially they have relatives here. So you need to consider that's where I think the challenge is, where you need to balance now the sentiments of a person, the legalities, and the legitimacy to be able to give someone a satisfactory service. So
you're saying this is among one of those cases that arrived on your office desk that you needed to sort out to deal with?
Yes, definitely. Yes. And I say it's a challenge because it involves a lot of, it's not a straightforward thing. It is like, you want a passport, I'm imagining I'm a Rwandan, because I believe I'm a Rwandan, but maybe legally you're not a Rwandan. So you need to discuss with that person to be able to understand and give this person the best procedure to be able to acquire nationality.
Yes. So looking forward, apart from wanting to outdo or outshine yourselves in what you're already doing, because you told me earlier on that even what we are doing today is not enough for us. What are the immediate term plans that you're having?
The immediate plans, I think the best way to do is to be able to, like the show we're making here, to be able to give ourselves to the public to judge us what we are doing. This is what I think we want to do, to be able and assure that whatever we are doing is for the benefit of the public, to be accountable to the public. The second one is to be able to improve in our IT solutions, to be able to reach more people, especially people who in the villages, where particularly maybe they don't see Twitter, they don't see Facebook and others, and to be able for them to get, whether they get a best solution for them, to be able to work with us. Then the third one is to see whether we can have self-service operations, where you come as a customer, you don't need to see perhaps immigration officers, and minimize the time you come to visit us. Maybe we meet you once, but you do the rest yourself. So those are the areas I think we are looking to and be able to improve what you are doing.
And why haven't we been able to probably achieve this, especially that one for self service? If I want to apply for a work permit, why haven't we been able to do that by today?
We are in the process of doing that, but also that requires financial aspects and to have people, engineers, who are able to think about it. We have the ideas, but we are in the process. That one I can assure you that perhaps in a short time we'll be able to reach that.
How short is short?
Maybe you say how long is short. Because we have started the project, and I'm sure I can't tell you maybe in 3-6 months, but we are in the process of attaining that, especially on visas, to have a seamless application system where applicants, we don't have to come to our place. They can just come once to collect the visas. Yes.
Take us through the process of what really happens when a foreigner or someone working here applies for a work permit or applies for a renewal of their work permits. We've had some people from various countries who have probably insinuated that there is a plan to either kick them out of the country or either not allow them to continue being around because we want to have local Rwandans take up the positions that they're having. Could you probably say something about this?
Quite well. I think this is the Rwanda, first of all, the concept of Rwanda, the principle of Rwanda is having to attract skills in Rwanda. Because, in Rwanda, we should have shortage of skills like any other African countries. So for us to be able to develop our country, we have the skills development program. And this work with the Ministry of Public Service. But now, particularly on the work permits, we have two areas. We have what is called the occupational demand. The occupational demand list, these are the people who know 100% that they are needed in Rwanda. You don't have even to apply to come. There is a job in Rwanda. You can come in Rwanda and search for a job. Stay 3 months in Rwanda. You get your job. You don't get, you decide to go back.
Yes.
That list is very clear. Then you have what is called employer
Maybe
sponsored.
An example of some of those falling.
I mean, there are so many. There are like medical doctors, engineers, fitters, technicians, plumbers, all categories of where we think that these skills are in
needed
demand. Yes.
and are not available locally.
Then the other category is what is called employer-sponsored workers, where employer will sponsor you that I want a certain person to work for me, but these skills perhaps not well demanded in Rwanda. Then in that case, when on employer-sponsored workers is where now required to see whether there is no Rwandan
who's able to do that.
So, and that's where perhaps people confuse that maybe we don't want people to come in Rwanda, but we open. And if the employer will be able to convince that actually we need this person specifically for a certain issue. Maybe, for example, company starting, they will say, I'm starting a business. I need maybe 3-4 people who have been working with them from this other country. And for that one, you can allow them.
Is it true that you give them a timeline of how long those people who have been brought in will have to stay?
Yes, sometimes, yes, it depends. Depends on the employer, because the employer would say, maybe I'll be able to mentor Rwandans for 1 or 2 years. It is actually a discussion. We deal with them and see, they will tell you that perhaps I need this person for 3 years. Then you say, okay, perhaps 3 years, 1 year. I know some companies stayed for them even for 5 years.
And still it's fine?
Yes, as long as we agree and you show the intention that really you need this person for a particular reason. Yeah.
So the decision to either accept or deny is all in your court. You're the ones who say yes or no.
Yes.
And if you agree, you've agreed. And if you've said no, it's no.
Yes.
All right. Based on those things that you've said.
We engage them. Then eventually, I think I haven't seen where we disagree with the companies or people or with the employers. I think it is in the best interest of both of them. The companies sometimes they pay when they bring people from outside, they pay more money. So it actually, at the end of the day, you might find both of you agree that it is high time this person, perhaps if you have the local talents, this person gets I think this one maybe look for something else to do. Yes.
Because why I ask this, I like also giving examples of where I've seen or heard about this. I've heard of some cooks who are working in certain hotels, and you'll find that they come from other countries. And because that hotel does just specific kind of dishes, so these people hire these kind of people to come here. But as you know, and as you also say, we have locals who know how to cook, but maybe they may not be able to cook to that level that this person wants. So they end up feeling that they are the ones being targeted. They're saying this work can be done by a Rwandan, and so I have to leave. So what are you assuring them in this area?
First of all, the chefs, the chefs are on the occupational demand. So if you are a chef, you can work in any place in Rwanda for as long as your company hires you. Now the difference, the details, the chefs and cooks sometimes very difficult to differentiate. So there are other maybe helpers some people would call them cooks. I think for those ones there is a limit. You can start a restaurant in Rwanda. You have a chef, because the chefs are the ones actually who knows the menu, what you are saying. And the chefs are actually allowed to come and work in Rwanda. Yes, because they are on that occupational demand list. But the helpers, I think that's a different thing to do. It is quite different from the chefs. If you have a chef who will be able to prepare the menu according to, your taste of the restaurant. If it is an Italian restaurant, it is an Indian one, or it is an African. If you want maybe to cook githeri, and you have a chef for that.
Nyama choma.
Nyama choma. Yes, but those are the chefs. But others who are helpers, I'm sorry, they are not in that category.
Now, on a final mark and also on a lighter note, I'll go onto a personal question. You and your wife both have been serving in government positions or key positions in this country. How does this translate to you two? You know, when you're together, when you are there, do you ever feel pressurized because of whatever work that you're doing for this nation? How do you deal with this?
Actually, I don't think what you do what you do what you want. You do what not what you want. You know what your country needs for you. I think you have the capacity and the motivation to do that. If you have that motivation, I think the rest is not very difficult.
So the motivation is there.
The motivation, the commitment, and to serve the people.
And the support.
Definitely the support. The support is something you're not forgetting.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you so much, my friend Anaklet Kalibata, for being on One-on-One.
Thank you, Eugene.
And of course, we are hoping for even better, as you said.
Actually.
And we are here to watch.
Definitely. And I think I would request you to contact FM to be able to see what we are doing.
Yes.
We are seeing. See what we are doing. Ask the public, because you serve the public.
Yes.
Where there are problems in visas and foreigners, because you are the voice out there. And I think it would be more objective than us to be able to follow these issues.
All right. Thank you very much. Well said. Asante sana for your time. For those who have been listening to us, thank you very much for your comments. We have several comments that have come through from Nathan Mugume, who says, we appreciate the fast, efficient and quality services coupled with good customer care. This is a thumbs up again. For your institution. All right, so keep the conversation going on. The hashtag to use is 101RW. Let's keep talking. If you have any other questions, they are online and they'll definitely be able to respond to your concerns. It is here that we put an end to the program. Goodbye for now. My name is Eugene Anangwe.